Hi, everyone. Good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome to a new set. I brought you to my home tonight. So, we're going to stream our detox from it's kind of our living room slash dining room. I was doing the practice here for a while. I think probably somewhere, I don't know, when we started doing detox in the evenings, I started in this location. Then eventually I started doing it out in the garden, and then I moved to the deck, and then I went to the studio, and then tonight here we are coming back to this spot. So welcome. Hello, Brian Boone. Nice to see you. When you popped up in front of the studio this morning, that was awesome. Looked like maybe you were heading from work. Is the shop open again? If as you're joining, if you would like to participate in a 5 minute mindfulness meditation, I don't know if we've done this in the last couple evenings, so I wanted to offer it. You sit cross legged, block underneath your bum if that feels good to release some of the tension in your hips. If there's any tension left at this point, we've done quite a few practices together here. So, wherever you feel most comfortable, and you're looking for a lightness in your spine. So, when you're sitting down and the hips are compressed, the spine doesn't feel that light. The chest feels kind of sheltered and closed in, the shoulders heavy. So if you get those hips elevated a bit, shoulders on top, and then they can, relax, and there's a little bit more freedom and the feeling of lightness through your head. From here, palms can ground down onto the knees, but you're not holding on or gripping the position. There's no flexion in your core. And it's normal if there's some discomfort. We could actually use that sensation along with observing our breath to and draw us onto our mat into our practice and to explore whatever may appear during a meditation. And so once you're in feeling somewhat rested, close your eyes and let your breath be natural, but it may feel good when you take your next breath to fill your lungs, feel a deeper breath, and soften out the muscles on the face as you feel the exhale, and we begin to observe. So that previous deep breath that you took, that is manipulating the breath. That is changing the breath. When we meditate, we're not changing the breath at all. There's no breath practice in controlling or changing. We are simply observing the breath and the air as it flows into the body and flows out. That connected to the groundedness of your position plus the sensations which you can observe. And then we can just simply watch the mind and wherever it goes. And we'll be here. And we'll hold space as we did this morning, continue and to expand our practice of holding space tonight. If there's something on your mind, put it into the bucket of space. And we can hold it for you, you can hold it and for you, and we can all hold it for each other. And be in this stillness, and I'll call you back in a few minutes. welcome to continue your meditation until we start our detox practice tonight. When you're ready to come out, sit up tall, take a breath in. Feel the breath, feel the space, and then softly bring your eyes back into your room, wherever you're practicing from this evening. You feel how you can still sense the space and how your mind is a little bit different than before you meditated, and that was only 3 to 5 minutes. It's not that long. It doesn't take that long. And so welcome back, everybody. I want to thank everyone that participated in the live chat today. It's just so cool. It's like being on a retreat, and I know we're going to do it again in person and be able to sit around the pool or in the pool and have these chats. But everything that you guys shared today, we talked about community, we talked about our practice in what it means, and it's just so cool. So check it out if you didn't catch it during the live, and feel free, and it will kind of open up your practice in different ways. Even if you just listen to it, if you participated, it definitely will open up your practice. We talked about vulnerability, and it was just nice to share that time and conversation with you guys that joined. So thank you. Oh, right on, Boone. So they're starting to kind of kick the tires on the store and see what's going on there. That's good, though. We got to start somewhere, and just really practice patience right now. Emily, welcome back. Roz, hope you're doing well. Nice little rain in New York. It's a great soundtrack. Hi, Sam. 4474 reporting for Detox. I think, Sam, I don't know if you and Roz ever ran into each other back at the old studio that we used to practice in, because I don't think Roz has been to Urban yet. But if you guys know each other, obviously you would love each other. But if you haven't met yet, I feel like you guys would really get along. Hey, Ari, we are back in the house tonight. Little house tour. I thought Ben was he was excited that I was setting everything up. I thought he was gonna join us. Hi, cousin. But he is off playing. He is a playful 4-year-old. Okay, so tonight we have a detox practice from the house. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're encouraging you to stream if you're playing music. Start with Spotify and just listen for the cue when to start your playlist, because next week we're just going to turn over to that method versus earbuds. Earbuds has been repeating songs and then cutting songs off and whatnot. And just let me know real quick before we get started, because I always hate for you to deal with bad volume or something on the audio. So Ari, my audio guy, I've labeled you my audio guy. Can you let me know how everything sounds? I just want to make sure every time I change a location that you guys are able to hear me okay, and then we'll get started. Ashley, good evening. And my second question for anybody else, since we've all been doing the same class, if you've been doing the class that I'm doing, I'm very curious if your butt hurts like my butt hurts. We've seemed to have struck a layer of the buttocks and the top of my hamstrings that I don't think I've ever felt before through my practice. So, simple curiosity, things the mind wants to know. Yeah, maybe Ari's not on. Can anybody else let me know if the audio sounds okay? And then we can get started. I just want to make sure that you guys are picking me up okay and there's not any feedback or the volume's not too low or anything like that. It's kind of a cool night. I know we're on day 70 something, but if you look at our little YouTube channel here, looks like we need somewhere between 1 and 9 more people, and we'll be at 3,000 subscribers. When we started this, you guys, before the pandemic, I think our YouTube channel had maybe 200 subscribers from what we were streaming once a week at the studio. So it's pretty incredible. Forearm planks. Those have been the talk of the town. Hi, Linda. Audio's good, Roz. Good. Sounds fine. Thanks, Angela. All right, you guys, I'm going to start the playlist. If you are on earbuds, you'll still get it for the next couple days. If you're trying out Spotify, go ahead and start your playlist now. And then once you get your video and your audio set up the way you'd like it to be, yeah, let me try to turn it up just a little bit for you guys. So there's a little elevation of the volume. Let me know if that sounds better. And then once you feel good about it, if somebody wants to, that was saying turn it up, just type in, let me know, and then we're going to start in Shavasana, lying down on the back. And once I get the all clear on the audio, I will go ahead and join you as well, lying down on our backs, please. Yes, indeed. Good, Linda. All right, thanks, you guys. Thanks for the help. Set your stack or your blocks to the side. And if you're not on your back, go ahead and make your way onto your back. I was talking on the live chat today. I was like, there's not a day where we're not feeling something in our body. If you think about it, everything that is our life, everything we've done, if we've built brick patios during quarantine, if we moved hundreds of pounds of dirt, if we've, done 30 yoga classes together in a row, if we've, run around with our kids, we're just, we're active beings. We move around. And maybe we realize that, we're meant to move around. We're meant to use this body a little bit more, and it actually wakes us up if we do it mindfully. If we do it mindlessly, then it's probably not going to feel so. Every movement or more of our actions become mindful movements and mindful actions, just like you guys are doing when you're on your mat. Perhaps there's not a lot of life in this body yet that we haven't realized or we haven't experienced. You might just surprise yourself. I'm sure you guys have surprised yourself. Who thought we'd be doing this and still doing this, and we're just going to continue to practice, and that should feel pretty good. And let your breath loosen up if there's any control around the breath. And let's land in this place. And we've all arrived on a Friday evening. Some of you, it's a later evening. All right, let's bend the legs so that your feet come flat onto the mat. Use your feet, obviously, keep your bum heavy. And then use your elbows to lift your shoulders and your head off the ground. And so you're going to walk your elbows back a little bit. You can do one at a time. And then tight shoulders, the elbows are going to want to spread out. So And turn the elbows in best you can. And your hands can kind of rest. You're not holding on, but you can kind of rest the hands and the thumbs around your outer hips. And then from here, let's let the legs go long onto the mat. And perhaps to lock the legs in so that they don't lift, you can cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And we'll start with our gaze forward, so we're looking towards the toes and the tops of the feet. And you may feel this in your arms. We haven't done this posture yet before without a block necessarily underneath our back or a prop underneath our back. So this is just really getting into those shoulders and the arms and how, we may be overutilizing our shoulders and our deltoids in the flow practice. But remember, you're not holding on. The gaze is forward. Eyes can even soften down. And little to less activation. And please make the adjustment if your elbows are just sliding out, and find a way to stick the elbows onto the ground so that you can really enjoy and observe the sensations, hopefully in the arms and the shoulders. Sometimes you'll feel it around the neck. And you're welcome to settle or close the eyes. And you can really close the throat, letting the chin come and connect down onto the chest. So we're shortening the muscles in the neck. And there's some nerves that run through your neck and then down through your shoulders. So if you're already getting some tingles in your fingers and through your hands and your wrists, that's pretty normal. We're not going to be here too long. If you have your right ankle crossed over your left, let's just switch that. So right foot comes back inside. And take your left ankle over your right ankle. And the weight of the legs, the weight of your pelvis, you can soften your bum. And then on this side, without applying strength, if you just want to start and kind of rolling your gaze up, and feel the elbows on the mat, and then it's going to lift the chest as the gaze comes up. But if that's too much on your neck and to your shoulders, you can come back into the first phase of the position. And if you're okay to stay here, close your eyes. Be honest with yourself. If you're holding on in strength, that's the opposite direction of where we'd like to go. So if you felt that it was less when you were in the first phase, then go back to that place. It can be pretty crazy what you feel in your neck here. We just want to be careful that we're not having the shoulders roll forward and then throwing the head back. That's not going to end up feeling all that great in your cervical spine. So if you're not sure, then just keep your chin closer to your chest. If you've had the gaze up, start to slowly bring your chin back down. Man, there can be some achiness there in your neck, there in your shoulders. And start to slide your right arm out, coming down onto your back. And then eventually left arm out. And your head probably never felt so heavy. And let it come down onto the ground, and you should feel all of those muscles in your neck. You can uncross your ankles. And take a release here onto your back and through your shoulders. In your chest, let that posture go. All right, keep your shoulders heavy, bring your legs together. And bring your right knee into your chest. You can interlace the fingers onto your hamstring. A little deeper, hands onto your shin. Or a little deeper, hands around the sole of your right foot. You want to make sure that your shoulders and your head, you may need the support of your stack and your block if you're holding on to the foot. And put that underneath your head to support. And so that the shoulders can be heavy. And then you've got the hands connected to either one of those three spots on your right leg, your hamstring, your shin, or the sole of the foot, and that pulls your thigh, let's say sets your thigh into your belly. So this position is called wind relieving. As the thigh comes into the belly, it's not only holding up a deep compression into your hip flexor, we're utilizing the weight of the right thigh to come down into the belly and create some compression down into your internal digestive organs. It can also feel good as long as you're not holding on and gripping in strength. It can feel good. It's a secondary release for the shoulders. Those muscles that we were feeling before, the deltoids coming down into the outer shoulder, connecting into the bicep. And sometimes it feels a little crunchy. And when you get into the connective tissue of the body and things are adjusting and moving around. So you may feel that on the release, these little, it's like little Rice Krispie pops in the hip crease. And go slow. Wherever you may be holding on to your right leg, start to soften the grip. And then start to take your right leg back out onto the mat. Right? So you've taken a muscle and several muscles in your hip flexors and you put them all into this ball. And now you're releasing that ball. And feel the density of your right leg. And drop your arms, release your back, feel your shoulders. And there could be a physical sigh of release, a sign from your body, and that something is letting go, and that letting go is not only happening in through the natural process and how your body detoxifies itself, but now it's also coming out through your breath and through your exhale. The carbon dioxide that is being released from your body. And it's really awesome, and maybe we can go down a deeper dive in a Yoga Life chat, but the functional anatomy related to breathing. And once you have a visualization of what's actually going on, it's very powerful. All right, keep your right leg out there on the mat and start to bring your left knee in towards you. So this is honestly, one size, this practice fits all bodies. And it's like, even if you weren't able to hold on to your hamstring, you could take a towel, put it around the back of your leg, and then hold on to that towel with both hands. So you've got plenty of options. Hand on hamstring, hands on shin. You can try out hands on your left foot. But the shoulders and the head got to be able to come and back down without holding on in force and agony and all of that. So listen to your body. Go where you can rest and relax and observe. So this left side, as your thigh comes into your belly, which it may come in, it may go out a little bit. But now we're talking about the descending colon. You guys hear me talk quite often in Detox about the internal digestive organs, because it's something obviously you want to aid in purifying and processing and breaking down and elimination, because it feels good when your body is functioning on par digestively. And if it's not, all you have to do is typically look at the last 24 hours. And digestion is roughly 18 to 24 hours for human, from the time that you ate something to the time that you eliminate. And if you have a hard time in remembering, or those choices can be difficult, what you're eating, but pay attention. You can write it down. And that alone can create quite a shift in your overall energy. When your energy shifts, your mind shifts. When your body changes, your energy changes, your mind changes. And you get the idea. as things pop up, allow your mindfulness practice to be a filter so that you're in the reality of where we are right now. And at the same time, you are open to observe anything and that may appear from the past or projections that may come through the mind of the future. But now you all have the tool, the mindfulness filter, and the observation of your breaths as you're taking them. And to be here. And whatever part of your left leg that you're holding on to, let's start to soften the grip. And release the leg. As it goes back down, again, you might feel some of those little Rice Krispie pops. And you've taken the muscles from a ball and then allowed them to come back out into their neutral state. So that flow now, as you let the leg get heavy, that flow is just gonna do its thing. And it's gonna flush. It's like completely flushing out with the old and with the new. And we repeat these steps over the course of many practices because it's not quite that simple to do out with the old. And so we must cultivate patience with our awareness. If you still had anything under your head like me, go ahead and remove it. Come all the way down onto the mat, and then we can take a morning stretch in the evening. Reach your arms over your head. You might feel just a little bit taller. And then bend your legs, roll onto your right side, and rest here in the fetal position. So your left hip stacks on top of your right. And your head can rest into your bicep. And you can take your left hand, put it in between your knees or in between your thighs. Okay, sometimes if you're really achy in the hips and the hip flexors, take a pillow or a blanket, slide it in between your legs. I'll use my block. You can use your block as well. And just put it more up on the meaty part of your inner thigh so it's not blocked to bone. And it's a nice way to tell the outer hips that they can let go. And then you realize as your body is letting go, it's telling your mind and that it's okay to let go because we're proactively exploring. So we are a volunteer when it comes to mindfulness, exploring in the relationship between our body and our mind. And once you start practicing in this way, there's no excuse not to go inward and to find the clarity that you need. It doesn't take anything outside of yourself. And you must try it, and you must practice. And keep me posted if you ever you don't find it within yourself. If you have anything in between your legs, please go ahead and slide it out. You use your left hand and then go ahead and make your way all the way up. And then we'll come into a cross-legged seat. So if it's facing the top of your mat, that's fine. If it's facing the side of your mat, you can do that as well. And when you cross your legs and you come into a seat, notice how you're feeling in those hip flexors. If they're tight, take your block or your stack and slide it underneath your bum. So you elevate your hips. Even if you've never tried it before, try putting something underneath your bum, and so that you feel lighter from your hip flexors. And then I'll mirror you. And so take your right hand across to your left knee. And then take your left arm and slide it behind your back. So lower your chin and get the back of your left hand to slide and cross your back. So right hand to left knee, left arm behind your back, and then really all we have to do is stay seated, stack the spine, and let the nose settle in the line. So if you draw a line from your nose straight down, it should be in the stack of your sternum, your breastplate bone. Right? We're not interested tonight in turning the gaze. Keep the nose in line and with the breastplate bone. And close your eyes and let your shoulders settle down. And that'll feel better to keep your head up. You may feel like it's pushing and pulling at in different parts of your body, but indulge yourself in the stillness and the neutrality from your intention and your vision. And so you're not instituting any strength in trying to twist deeper. You're just setting the hands and then letting it unravel from there. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay to feel. all you do is let your chin settle into your chest. And the left hand slide down the back. And then let your right hand slide across your lap. And you feel the release of the twist. Close the eyes, hands rest in your lap, and see if you feel a little lopsided. And get really patient with your stillness. You have an opportunity, if you were experiencing quite a bit of sensation in your hip flexors, to set your block or your stack underneath your bum. And then we're going to move on to the other side. So your left hand goes to your right knee. And then take your right arm behind your back. Lower your chin as you're sliding the right forearm across the low back. And so the hand position, we'll set the twist, and then the shoulders down. We just stack the spine. And keep the jaw soft, breath at ease. As you feel the rotation around your spine through your rib cage. And the nose stays in line with your breastplate bone, your sternum. And once you arrive in the space, close your eyes. All right, soften the chin. And let your right hand slide down your back. And let your left hand slide across your lap. You can do all of this release. And with your eyes closed, and you may feel some of those little pops in your spine, rest your hands into your lap. And you might feel a little bit more balanced now. And coming back to your center, ease to your breath. And maybe a little little sigh from your heart tonight. Without forcing it, and when your next breath comes, see if it's a deeper breath, and then fill the lungs. And patiently exhale and release all the air from your body. And the legs and the hips might be feeling it, so go slow. We're going to uncross the legs and bring them out in front of you. And take a moment to feel that. The flow coming back in through your knees, down into your ankles and your feet. And if you're facing the side edge of your mat, let's go ahead and face the top of your mat and sitting on your bum with your legs straight out in front, so you can remove your stack if it's a yoga block and whatnot. And then see how it feels to straighten your legs and sit on your bum. And see if this feels okay. If you feel like you're falling back and it takes strength to hold yourself up, and take your yoga mat from behind and start to roll it up. And so you're going to create a little elevation underneath your bum with your yoga mat. Roll it up a few times. Push it down with your knuckles. Lift your butt. And then take like the back half of your bum onto the roll of your yoga mat. And we're just wanting to turn the pelvis forward. And separate your heels a little wider than your hips. And big toes fall out. And then you should have some room to let your torso come forward, and your arms can rest inside your legs. You don't have to make this active at all. If you're not able to come forward without forcing it with strength, then you got to elevate your butt a little higher and sit to the back half, and so the pelvis turns forward. And then the arms down, the chin down. And very normal if you're feeling this right away. And we're going to put all the compression, all the weight of gravity into squeezing the front of our spine. And so you're shortening the spinal column from the front. It should make sense. And you're making it longer on the back. If you're getting any sharp shooting sensations, like anything other than a kind of a wave or a wand of discomfort, if you're getting something that is more pointy, hey, don't do this. You'd be better off in just sitting up straight versus creating the fold. And if you are having that type of sensation, please email me and I can share more information with you and we can explore that part of your body. But for now, you would just sit up tall and let your chin go into your chest. And keep softening your belly. And heavier in your fold. And putting all the weight of the torso down and compressing into your digestive organs as a whole. And mostly your transverse colon, it goes across and the top part of your belly. And relax the jaw and the cheeks and the tongue. And observe about 10 more breaths in this shape, please. And vertebra by vertebra. Keep the head heavy and you can begin to roll yourself back into your spine, back into the stack of your spine. You might have some pulsing, even twitching sometimes going on with your muscles as they release. You notice the state of your mind and the mental layer of your practice right now should feel pretty calm. Especially as you start to feel the air coming back out of your belly. And let's just scoot your bum forward off of the stack, the rolled up yoga mat. And then roll it back out. And then go ahead and start to make your way down onto your back, please. You're going to feel every sensation and through each part of your spine as it comes back down onto the earth. I mean, you should feel that in your entire spine. So if you're curious about my sound effects, I just got this massive pop from my sternum breastplate bone. Enjoy the release, everyone. It's normal if you're feeling some of this in the top of your bum and towards your low back. Let's bend the legs. Separate the feet a little bit wider than your hips. And we'll take care of that. And you can kind of roll your tailbone down, lift your hips, and then put your low back flat into the mat. From there, let your knees fall in towards each other. And we just got to spread the sacrum back out. Whether it's a part of your body or it's your mind or it's a human being in your life, who doesn't like space? And then contemplate tagging and adding on to space, trust and confidence. And being a good listener, and you're like, who doesn't like these things? Feels so good. Absolutely in slow motion. Keep the feet where they are. And start to let your knees fall down towards the left. You're going to notice that elevated sense and vulnerability into your hips and your spine. So we want to slowly introduce this movement and then start to bring your hips back to center. And let your knees come over towards the right. And you roll your hips back to square. And then if you need to make any adjustments in your shoulders, your hips, your low back, your arms, do that. And then you can release your legs long. And setting up your space, of course, you're welcome to keep your eyes closed or close them or cover them. Sometimes, I mentioned this way back, you can take a blanket and pull it over your entire body. It's kind of that effect of a cocoon. We know that we're transforming. We're starting to see the transcendence of the mind through the physical nature of the body and the practice. And while gravity roots you to this earth, there is so much more and to explore beyond what you can physically attach your eyes, your body to. And remember, if you haven't tried this, you seek the understanding inside of yourself first, and it may take a little bit, so be patient. And if you ultimately don't find the clarity within yourself, you reach out and we can continue that process and support you. And truth is, this may be the deepest that you've ever been. And down the road of exploring the relationship between your body and your mind, which sets you on a whole new trajectory that is exciting, that can be humble, and that is empowering, that supports you and supports the people around you. And you don't have to apply any extra effort. This is not something you need to add into your to-do list. It will apply itself through you. At this point, the ripple effect of the space and the practice is exponential. So it's not a one-to-one or even linear in that effect. If you stay based on everything that you've done up to this point, who knows where it can go? It's undefined. It's immeasurable. And it's probably going to be really hard to explain to anybody else, so no need to try. Thank you all so much for practicing with me and with each other and from our home tonight. And please take your time in this final resting pose. Have a beautiful rest. If this is the end of your day, if it's the beginning of your day, you take this patience and this perspective with you. It's a crazy world out there. It's a crazy, beautiful world out there. Be well, everybody, and I'll see you in the morning. And see you for our flow. Namaste.